Hello and welcome to a special Hump Day, St. Patty's Day edition of SJU. I've got Kim, I've got Lon, I've got Eric, and we've got barely even a show today because there's only one story and it's just a ticking clock. Eric does have a junket for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we always love to hear from you, the fans. So please keep those questions coming because otherwise we're just going to keep speculating about this weird MoviePass thing that just showed up. If you haven't seen yet, I think that the URL is MoviePass.Ventures, which is always a good sign when they can't get that .com and they have to do like .biz or like .money.
Yeah.
This just popped up a couple days ago, and it's a countdown clock, and it's very mysterious. It will end this coming Monday. All we get is that the movie is about to start. The MoviePass.Ventures is separate from MoviePass.com, registered anonymously on February 7th. Guys, we don't need to recount the whole long saga of MoviePass, a business that was designed to lose money and then did. But what could this possibly be counting down towards? Do we have any theories? Is there any form of this business that could work? Are they going to capitalize on the? Oh, is this a press release? Is this actually actual information? Oh, that's MoviePass.com. Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's like we're going away. Sorry,
the dog ate our business. Chloe, the marketing chewed up our business plan. What could this possibly be? Do we have any theories? Any speculation?
I'm thinking Gotti 2, right? I mean, we're just gonna get the Gotti 2 trailer on Monday. Travolta's coming back. He's already narrating the first movie from beyond the grave, so there's no difficulty here in a reboot.
We found 5 more boroughs. Newark, Hoboken.
Yeah. It's like, it's Gotti taking control of North Jersey. Exactly.
We gotta get him back. That's the tagline.
Oh yeah.
It's like, didn't MoviePass right near the end? They were trying to sell merch and stuff. So maybe it's just that, right? Like maybe it's someone who's like, you know how people will buy like Blockbuster t-shirts and stuff. Now Blockbuster was around for way longer, made way more of a long-term impact. But you know, who knows? Maybe someone's like, MoviePass Ventures, get your baseball hat, get your pen with MoviePass logo on it.
Interestingly, Eric, I did read that at some point Studio Movie Grill bought shares or bought a stake in the company. And I read online that March the 22nd, which this is counting down to, is Bavarian Crepes Day. And so put the two together. And I think maybe they're going to do something special with crepes and movies.
Wow. Finally.
Any combination of crepes and movies is special. I mean, you don't need to do that much.
Give yourself the crepes, I always say.
Crepes.
This began as a... MoviePass started out, it was $9.99 a month for unlimited movies.
Right.
So if you saw one movie, you were already beating the system somehow. And then it ended in a position where it was like $35 a month and you couldn't see any movies.
Right. That both the price went up and it became you have to like
you could only see
the app and get the movies in advance, and not every screening or even most screenings were available. But I mean, I think one, it's either the weirdest or most genius time to relaunch a movie theater centric app like right now. Like maybe it's a brilliant idea and people are going to be desperate to go to the movies for a while once they can leave their house again. And like, this is the perfect moment, but it seems like an odd choice of timing.
It just has to be radically different because from what I remember,
right? It's not. It doesn't make sense as a business. I think
it's Schrodinger's business where if it's successful, they lose money because they're giving away too many movie tickets, and if it fails, they lose money because no one's giving them any money for movie tickets. So like, it literally can't work as constructed. And the merch thing is an interesting idea. Like I could see this being like an ironic merch brand. Maybe they'll get into NFTs.
Oh wow, that's where the real money is.
Is there? How's AMC Stubs doing? Like, are movie theaters, when movie theaters come back, and we have some evidence, at least from China, that there is a pent up demand to go back to the movies. Is there a subscription model that makes sense or that would be appealing to you?
I mean, look, I was all over. I mean, look, nothing will beat MoviePass at its height. Like nothing beats. I signed up for MoviePass when it was already like a few months away from getting really bad. But in those first few months, I used the hell out of it. I have my spreadsheet because I'm that kind of person from my MoviePass where I saw like $670 worth of movies for $80, and I was very happy. I saw like 56 movies with it, but that last few months I was barely using it because, like you said, you could barely use it for anything. But clearly, it had this impact, right? And that's why AMC launched A-List and other chains did that. And I don't know, like, is AMC consider A-List pre-pandemic a success? I would think so, because their model, like, it was it wasn't as great as MoviePass because they were losing money model, but it was like, this feels fair if you're a frequent moviegoer, which I am, to pay this amount. And they kind of aim you to the concession where they make more money anyway. So I hope they were happy with that model, and I hope they bring it back when theaters are completely up and running the same way. I think AMC said they're gonna reinstall that this summer. So I hope that everyone is happy with that situation, because I certainly was happy with that situation.
I mean, this is addressing a real need, which is it's getting more and more expensive to go out to the movies, and people still want to go to the movies more than they can necessarily afford. So I think, if the business is savvy, then yes, there will be some solution. I don't know if it's like a third party one like this, or if it's more like an internal, like all these theater chains figuring out their own model. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, we've never had a MoviePass over here that encompassed all movie theaters, but we did have. I mean, I belonged to the Odeon's subscription service, which I always thought was great value. But like Eric said, it wasn't the deal that MoviePass was offering. Right. But as a frequent moviegoer, it offered me a good deal.
Yeah, and those of us in Los Angeles, like the ArcLight has had a membership subscription sort of system for, forever. So I think that's not that shocking or surprising that a theater or a theater chain might do it. It's more this idea of like, well, how would this work as its separate business? Because they still have to buy the tickets. Like, it's not like the theaters are going to be like, okay, MoviePass, you can let all these people into our theater for free.
Now there's some serious troll potential. I mean, there is I remember Mark Wahlberg's production company bought the rights and is making a MoviePass documentary.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Sam in the chat been there.
Oh yeah, that's
Could
right.
Could this be a countdown to that? Which
if
like,
he had been there, none of this would have
MoviePass
happened. Could have prevented the entire movie.
Wow, that's a deep.
I think we found a Transformer and a MoviePass.
I think we found a Transformer. Wants to sell us movie tickets.
If they were launching their own streaming service secretly, and that would be the launch title.
Yeah. MoviePass Plus Ventures.
Yeah.
It could be something to that documentary, right?
Just
like it could be like, here's our first look, or here's how you can get involved. That seems plausible.
That's a solid guess. Yeah. I kind of forgot that was still brewing.
And they have been, MoviePass did get acquired by a publicly traded company. I'm not actually sure what they do, but they're owned by someone that presumably wants to make money.
It was like an investment firm or a hedge fund or something, right?
They're like a data harvesting place.
Maybe, right.
So that's the maybe one piece of value they can squeeze out of it is like, what movies do people want to watch, or we can lose money on that and then sell it to somebody else.
Yeah,
it's such a weird brand, right? Because when you think of it, you think about, wow, at its best, that was amazing. I got so much joy out of all these movies essentially for free from it. And then you think about a company that was handled horribly and completely imploded very quickly. So it has name value, but it's got this giant asterisk next to it.
Yeah, it's just what value are they adding? Like on some level, it's got to be like, well, if you're going to insert yourself into the middle of the me buying a ticket to go to the movies process, you got to like contribute something. And just like, hey, what if movies but free doesn't really seem like you're making much of a contribution. So I think that's, if they had like a brilliant app or some sort of interface or some sort of way people wanted to do this transaction, I think that might be more of a way in. Just like, no, buy our card and then we'll let you get into their business for free is a weird model.
So
why don't I just pay them? Like,
the comments are coming in fast and furious, and there's some good ones. SG Rapness writes, free vaccine with every purchase of MoviePass. I'd sign up. Get me in line.
I would just buy Vaccine Pass at this point. Forget the movies. I'll take care of the movies myself. Give me the shot.
A medium popcorn and a vaccine.
Yeah,
And a
just
Moderna,
like, where do
yeah.
I go for that? I don't need the movie part.
Squirt some Pfizer on top.
Like, I'll check out Raya and the Last Dragon on my own time.
Pfizer topping. I got the Moderna topping.
One Quarter Canadian writes, I did a presentation on MoviePass for my master's, and the introduction alone was over 15 minutes. I feel like we've got, probably 6 straight hours of MoviePass content on Fandom Entertainment /
That's a good
Screen
guess.
Junkies News alone.
Yeah, probably.
Could probably make the documentary series right there.
Solid 70% is just Dan ranting.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this spreadsheet, guys. My first movie with MoviePass was Happy Death Day. My last one was The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I feel like it was a nice book ending there.
That's great.
A lot of happiness in between.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
I wish I'd seen Buster Scruggs on a big screen.
Yeah,
I watched it on
yeah.
Netflix, but I should have gone with you.
That would have been cool.
The land.
And yes, other people, Captain Vise and Marcus Y, chiming in, talking about how they did change the game. Subscription movie services like A-List didn't exist before that, and talking up how amazing AMC A-List is. Will AMC still exist by the time this is over? I guess that's a bigger
Yeah,
question.
well,
Didn't Reddit save them?
Yeah, the
Right?
GameStop pump and dump thing. This could also be, like I said, the company that owns MoviePass is publicly traded, so this could be just a way to goose it up and then cash out. So
they're
don't be a
hoping-
sucker.
They're hoping Reddit's gonna
Yep.
GameStop it. I get
Yeah, that's the new economy. Wow, hoping you become a meme stock. What a
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if you guys have any more thoughts about MoviePass and how much more blood we can squeeze from that stone. Let us know, and we will keep you posted when the clock hits 0 and they unleash the hounds of hell, or similar. Can't wait to
find
see
out
what.
Monday.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
find out
this-
Monday what emerges.
This is
from that
when
gaping
they
maw.
are gonna vindictively activate their laser beam from space and blow up Earth. That's the count. That's what
their
we're
Winter
actually counting.
Soldier
Well, I
helicarrier.
was thinking, have they teamed up with Elon Musk and expedited colonizing Mars, and they're launching a movie theater up there? Could that happen? That might
As long
be
as they
fun.
take Elon with them, that's fine.
It
with me.
only accepts
Yeah.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
You have
They're
to buy
gonna
your
laser
ticket
the
in
MoviePass
Dogecoin.
logo onto Mars. Just say it.
Perfect. I know this video, I'm not going to say this video is underwhelming, but I will say that we do have better things coming later in this week.
Dare you.
What are you talking about?
Please subscribe, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and then come back for the MCU edition of the Fandom 5, where you can win actual money for answering questions about the MCU. Sign up with the link below. That, I believe, is this Friday. Also this Friday, maybe concurrently, I'm not sure.
Right before it.
Right before. Check in on us, see how we do, because we are going to be watching all 4 hours straight of the Snyder Cut, live and in person. We're going to have some fun games, some little activities for you to join along. Some people asked if this will be our first Snyder Cut experience. I think it will. We'll be going in blind, so we'll be reacting as you see it. I think Roth and Eric, I'm not sure if you guys might be popping in at some point. No pressure.
There might be some appearances. Yeah.
Yeah, some pop-ins. But you
Was
guys.
the question, are we going to watch this 4-hour movie like the night before and then wake up and watch this 4-hour movie again? Is that what this person was wondering?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, I don't
we
think
just
so.
couldn't wait.
Not me. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we'll be seeing it with fresh virgin eyes. And
Are we-
10 a.m. fresh 10 a.m. eyes.
Yeah.
on
Are
that
we
Snyder
doing an
Cut.
intermission? That is a question I'm seeing. Did Billy plan an intermission, or are we just
No.
going straight through?
No, this is
4
not
hours?
Lawrence of Arabia. We are going straight through. There will be no bathroom breaks, none. And Roth and Eric, if you want to see what people who have seen the Snyder Cut are like, go check out that review. It's very good stuff, and there's no spoilers in there. We have that up on the channel now. Also, we're going to do, don't worry, we will be covering Falcon Winter Soldier. I don't know exactly when it'll be up, but you guys have seen the first episode, and we'll be reviewing that as well.
We got something cooking. We'll just figure it out. Don't worry, it'll be there.
Well, sweet. All right, now we get into the real meat of this show sandwich. And remember, we do have a Falcon Winter Soldier junket coming up later. But for now, let's answer some fan questions. The Flick Chick asks, if you could go on a road trip with any movie character, who would it be? Road tripping.
I gotta say, my first one I thought of was Paddington, because he's just such a chill dude. You know, I like him.
I do think the marmalade sandwiches.
I mean, I might get a little sick of the marmalade sandwiches, but I just think, you know, he'd be very pleasant to talk to.
He's very kind and pleasant, but you're like a caretaker a bit on that trip. Like,
Sure.
Yeah,
you
you
gotta
kind of have to keep
watch
him out of
out.
trouble. He's a child.
Right. It's not just like a buddy. You're kind of a guardian as
A
well.
short road trip, I think. Not a long road trip.
Yeah, it's like how my first instinct was like, oh, Amelie, and we'd have so much fun and we'd look at the world through fresh eyes. But man, that would get annoying after like
15
state.
minutes, you'd be like, all right, you're very quirky.
We must
I
pull over and
understand."
look at this egg.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Come on. We're running out of gas.
Get it.
Which is
but let
why I would say Jason Voorhees, Spencer.
Okay.
Love it.
I mean, as
Wow.
long as he didn't turn on me.
That's a big
that's
if.
You have to dress like his
Sure.
mom the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Thanks for the tip.
Kind of a
Eric.
lone wolf guy. I mean, that usually does not bring a companion.
Again,
No,
if
it's not
Kim,
very
Kim has a blue
complicated.
sweater and she puts her hair, she'll be
Yes,
good.
I'm hoping I can tease something out of him. You know, he's quite a closed book. So that would be my aim.
I think Michael Pena from the Ant-Man films, a great storyteller, a bon vivant, a guy who's going to be fun to spend time with, but also a guy that I feel like would kind of get if you're not in the mood to chat and like would respect your downtime.
Do you
as
think? I
well.
don't know. He might go on and on, like
I mean, yeah, sure, it's a little rambling.
recount
but
the
I
whole
don't know.
history of the MCU to you. But I would do to go the other way. Maybe Ryan Gosling in Drive. You know, the strong silent type who could look out for you and probably get you cross country in a day.
Yeah, that's
24
very
hours.
right. He's doing all the driving and he's very quiet. So if you
Yeah.
just want to sleep
Put
in
on
the
a
back,
podcast.
that's good. Yeah.
All right. Mark the Drifter, who I imagine is like an old timey boxcar
Also-
hobo.
Probably good on a road trip.
Yeah,
was.
Mark the Drifter.
Yeah.
Here's a question: why don't they make treasure hunting movies anymore?
Is he a drifter or a pirate?
Well, a modern day pirate, is kind of a drifter. That's his question, and he asked it in exactly that voice. So why don't they make treasure hunting movies anymore?
You know, they kind of do. It's just always wrapped in that, like it's based on a thriller novel, you know, like it's got, like Da Vinci Code is our modern version, or, like I guess National Treasure, where it's not just like treasure hunting. You got to like solve a historical mystery or something.
And now they're making a TV show for Peacock called Dan Brown's Langdon
Right.
that will
Oh,
follow
wow.
more clue
Yeah. The
solving.
further adventures of bad haircut Tom Hanks.
As long as we
played
get
by
that
the
haircut
guy.
again, I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, don't we get treasure hunting movies all the time? It's just like, isn't that the plot of every sci-fi or comic book movie? Is
Yeah.
like, we have to find the Dweezil box to unlock the Stoodlebop. Like everything's about finding a thing to stop another thing. Like,
It's just usually not in that like the Pirates or Tomb Raider sort of mode now. It's like our modern, it's more like heisty kind of stuff is our modern treasure
but
hunt.
every plot revolves around finding some type of gem, or some type of orb to stop some type of portal. Like that's the plot of every movie.
Is there another Indiana Jones film coming?
There is.
There
yeah,
is.
Yeah. And they finally hired a director for the Tomb Raider sequel. So things are percolating. It is weird they never made a third National Treasure because those were legit hits. And I don't know why they didn't make a third one. But
Yeah, there's plenty of U.S. history still to be.
There's some
plumbed.
left out. The whole JFK thing, QAnon. I mean,
Oh yeah, QAnon. That's
Well, they teased
Definitely.
it 2 and 2. They're like, "Oh, what's on page 47?" And he's like, "I'll tell you next time, Mr. President." So we never found out what's on that page, too. We got to know.
I mean, Disney Plus, come on, you can do this.
yeah.
Cage is like just fit it into his schedule. He's gonna do it. It's not like he's gonna say no.
Well, thank you, Mark the Drifter. I hope you keep the questions coming, and they're equally grizzled. Rob Filkins
He's
asks
just got to grab him from his bindle. He's got a bindle.
from at the end of the stick and bindle.
Yeah.
Rob Filkins asks, "What movie are you most excited to get back into theaters for?" I mean, I would be for Godzilla versus Kong. I'm not sure. We'll see if I can get vaxxed in time. I might break the seal for that one.
I mean, yes, I love my Marvel movies, but putting those aside, Mission Impossible 7, because I'm way into that series, and visually they're obviously like huge scale and do these amazing sequences that look great on a big screen. So this fall, I hope to be accepting that mission at a box office near me.
I'm this close to defecting to China to get into a cinema to see Avatar.
There you go.
Be a good return trip to do Avatar. I'll tell you, when it was earlier in the year or like late last year and things were looking pretty grim, I pinned my hopes on Dune. Like by November we should be good. But now that things are looking, maybe I'll get vaxxed in another month or two. I'm kind of feeling like F9 might be my early, like if I could get into a theater and see that Fast and Furious sequel, I would be really excited to do that.
The family, it will be good to be back with
family reunion, baby.
The first moments I'd like to be in a theater for include the very first time the word family is uttered, and then Han showing back up. That's going to be a big moment.
Right.
And then meeting Vin Diesel's brother, John Cena.
I mean, who doesn't want to be in a big crowd for epic moments like this?
His evil brother until he teams up with him in the next movie.
He definitely joins the cast of F10 for sure.
The family's all about. Okay. Now, finally, one opinion asks, with theaters mostly closed, what's everyone's popcorn game right now? Microwave, stovetop, that red cart machine? I love that you think that we have popcorn carts in our homes.
Yeah. With the basket of topping. Yeah.
Sadly, I like to use reusable water bottles and stuff like that, but I just go bagged popcorn. I get the big old bag of Trader Joe's popcorn, various flavors, and like sometimes kettle corn, sometimes a little cheese, a little herb, and just work my way through that.
Right. Yeah, my wife loves the kettle corn, so we do get bags of that sometimes. And then caramel corn, can't turn that down. Easy to get full on that pretty quickly. But it's good stuff. I'm allowed to say that I saw. It was weird. I can say that I saw Godzilla vs. Kong last night, but I can't say what I thought of it yet. But I went to a drive-in to see it, and they gave a box of popcorn, and I brought it home. We were really excited because it was tasted like movie theater popcorn. So I'm ready to get back to that.
I can't do any popcorn but movie theater popcorn. It never tastes the same to me, so I've just given it up.
Wow.
Oh no.
I'll usually do like a microwave, like an Orville Redenbacher light butter, maybe. That's usually my go-to. But every once in a while, I'll indulge and just get the regular butter kind.
What about soda? Someone asked yesterday, Mr. Rosa asked us yesterday, what's your guys' go-to soda?
Oh, I'm a Dr. Pepper man. My father was a Dr. Pepper man, and his father was a Dr. Pepper. It is my favorite soda, but that's my number one. And I don't generally like diet soda, but that one is actually nearly identical, I find, to regular Dr. Pepper. So sometimes I go there.
I've traditionally loved Coke, but I've been trying to drink less of it. And then I discovered Cherry Coke Zero, which I thought tasted very good and not like a diet soda at all, but has been almost impossible to find during the pandemic. And then my friend who knew I was hunting texted me a couple weeks ago and said, they have a ton at this one Ralph's on Ventura Boulevard. And I ran there and I bought 8 boxes, which is the limit. So right now I'm stocked up on my Cherry Coke Zero.
I'm like sort of with Eric, like I love soda and it's terrible for me. So I try to not, but when I indulge, just a classic Coke is when I'm in the mood for a soda and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a soda. That's the one I'll usually go for.
Mine's always Pepsi Max. When I'm not drinking tea, of course.
I've never tried Pepsi Max. And
do we have Pepsi Max in the US or is that a UK thing?
Yeah.
We did? Okay, I don't know.
It's like Coke Zero. It's like their version of a fake sugar, but not diet, but local, whatever.
There are things that are just in UK grocery stores that we don't have here. They have tikka masala chips and stuff.
Lion bars.
They're really good. They're delicious.
They are. Grab those suckers.
Well, I think we've stalled as long as we can. I think
you guys want to talk Tesco more?
I think this is the one we put in the vault.
Yeah, we've done a heroic job filling time on a day when the only news was a ticking clock to the release of some actual news this Monday. But that's the SJU promise, is that we can talk for about 30 minutes on anything. But now, on to the interesting stuff. Eric, would you like to set up your Falcon Winter Soldier junket?
Yeah, so Falcon Winter Soldier, like I said, Roth and I will have a video at some point in the next few days talking about the first episode. And but I can say I really liked it. And I can also say that I talked to the director and the showrunner of it. And it was a pretty cool conversation, especially I think what people will be interested in the show is that it deals the most we've seen yet with like life post blip. Because in Spider-Man, it was kind of a joke. And WandaVision, clearly it wasn't going to be the core of the show, though it was interesting with Monica, but it wasn't what the show was about. This show, you kind of see a lot more day to day. What's the blip been the effect on everyone? And so we talked about that and Zemo and some other things you can look for in this show.
Sweet. Roll it. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Let me be clear. Our country is vulnerable. We need new heroes. Let's get to work.
The last time we saw them was Steve was literally handing Sam the shield, but Steve is a man who, clearly had a big impact on both their lives. So how much is that sort of the shadow, the legacy of Captain America weighing on both these characters?
This entire series is dictated by the absence of Steve, and it's very real and tangible. The world problem of post-blip world being in absolute chaos is a problem that in the Marvel Universe, Steve is the only one who could possibly manage that. And the fact that Sam and Bucky are now dealing with each other without Steve and dealing with the fact that they don't even have possession of the shield anymore, all of that brings Steve to life and puts him in the air and the fabric of the series. And it stays that way through the whole thing.
I think we get to go on a ride that we didn't expect and take it out for a road test. So it's all about, the characters and how they circle back to their relationships with the shield.
Oh, I have all of that on camera.
Get out of my face, Sam.
For you, what were the core elements of Sam and Bucky that kind of stood out to you that you wanted to put on this under the spotlight more here?
So first I'll start with Bucky. Bucky's issues and his traumas and his flaws. You know how all these characters, these mythical characters are imbued with flaws? With Bucky, we knew what it was. We knew he'd been manipulated for all this time. We saw, once you see what he did, because I remember it wrecked me when you see what he did to Tony Stark's family, what he must have done to thousands of other families over the years. Mm-hmm. And we knew, because he only appears in blips in world stake fights, that he could not have had time to deal with that. So along comes our series where Bucky is taking a breath for the first time and he's been deprogrammed. For Sam, he is a black man, like as much as Black Panther forever changed the world, because of how big it was and how many people all over the planet loved it. We wanted to continue that legacy. T'Challa is African and he's a king. A black man from the South, from rural South, that's a different struggle. And to bring a character to life who had a decidedly black identity and he is confronting heroism and this symbol from that point of view was super exciting to me. And I feel like both those characters, that friend who has this issue they need to resolve and that person who feels like an other and wonders if the world will ever accept another, to me, that created two wholly modern heroes who are future and forward facing and feel like they are of these times.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work unfinished.
I love Zemo in Civil War. He was a very different kind of villain for the MCU and kind of the way he approached things. And as a comic book fan, I'm very excited that he's going to get that purple mask here. But I'm curious, kind of how do you balance that with, because he was a more grounded villain than some super villains, was an interesting kind of balance, like pivoting him a little bit more toward the comics, but remembering who that guy was in Civil War.
He believes that superheroes are synonymous with supremacy. And he believes that they should not have powers and abilities and be able to impose themselves on regular people, obviously, because look what happened to him, you know what I'm saying, in Age of Ultron. The Zemo in this series believes he's a hero, absolutely. And not only does he believe he's a hero, when you hear Zemo talk about what's motivating him, I promise you, there's multiple villains in this series. Every single one of them has such a good argument for what they're doing that even the heroes have to take a breath and think about it.
Symbols are nothing without the women and men that give them meaning. We need someone to inspire us again.
You mentioned the blip, and of course, it's so interesting to think about that and the ramifications of that. I loved WandaVision, but WandaVision, obviously, that wasn't going to be the focus of it because of the nature of the story they were telling. Here, you're getting to show much more the day-to-day of life for people that all have to process this, whether they were gone or not. So was that kind of just a fascinating thing to think about the world in the aftermath of that?
I think the thing we are most proud of with this series is how relevant and of the times it feels. So everything that's happening, the villains in this series are responding to the blip. The heroes in this series have a personal story that is affected by the blip. And the blip itself is a feeling of like an entire planet dealing with one issue. How relevant is that to us today? You know what I'm saying?
It sort of parallels, without us ever planning it, what's happened with the pandemic. It's a universal experience. So the entire world, it was kind of a leveled playing field because half the world blipped out. So now half the world's blipped back. But while that half was gone, one half of the world continued on. And amongst countries and amongst people and families and whatever, a different kind of cooperation and different kind of conversation was happening. And then everyone blips back and has some expectations of it going back to the way it was, or wants it to go back to the way it was. I hope the fan base is going to enjoy it as much as we enjoyed telling this particular story.
So we're partners, co-workers.
Not necessarily a team.
No. We look damn good, though.